Hello my fellow Keyblade builders and welcome back to another video. I am the Kingdom Key. I'm just going to give you a little bit of a disclaimer before we head into today's video. This is part 2 to do with my story with Kingdom Hearts. I already did part 1 around about 2 months ago, and yeah, a lot of you guys seem to really enjoy it. And basically what this series is, for those of you who are new and don't know what this is and are curious, basically I go on ahead and share with you my personal experience, and this includes things from how I grew up as a kid, how I got into Kingdom Hearts as a child, and how it shaped my life and why I loved it so much. I share with you some quite personal details, as well as the bullying that occurred with me being a child and, you know, growing up with dyslexia and dyspraxia and having a hard time in school because of these functions, and people actually beating the ever-living heck out of me for it, and also teachers telling me I was just lazy and this is why I didn't do too well in school, and I actually hated school until I found my third school. So this is going to pick up right where the first part left off. So without any further interruptions, I'm going to go on ahead and do this, but for those of you who don't want to listen to this because you might find it a bit too difficult with the subject matter of bullying, please click off. Anyway, I hope that you guys all enjoy. So where the next part of my story with Kingdom Hearts begins is that I was about 4 weeks into my summer vacation, my extra extended one because my mom kept me off for 2 months from school because of the incident that happened with my head. If you guys don't know what happened with that, check out the first part. So I was about 4 weeks in, and I was really struggling with the fight with Riku when he was possessed by Ansem in Hollow Bastion. But from up to this point, I had seen a boy named Sora go from not knowing very much and not having many friends, just his 2 friends on the beach, and his other friends as well, including Tidus and everyone else, go to making all of these friends. And he, even though still young and naive, learning a lot of things and overcoming a lot of things that he found difficult and things that he would never expect to have to face at his young age. And it sort of inspired me that although it's going to be tough for me with all the learning disabilities I have, that at some point in my life I will overcome them, and it will help me realize this, but it will be a slow process. However, I was just enjoying this game for what it was, and I was at this point with this fight and learning that Sora's heart could contain the heart of others, because to me he is just that, as a kid, to me he was just this, you know, child who was so kind and empathetic towards everyone else. He was so accepting that he just brewed kindness, so he was sort of like a safe haven for those who are lost, and that's kind of what Sora is, and I find this out in later games, not just in Kingdom Hearts 1. So yeah, I really loved this fight as a kid, although it drove me nuts. I think it took me about 15 attempts, and my brother came in and was like, "Move aside, let me help you out here," because I didn't know there was more than just cure. I thought that was just cure. I thought that was just you know, being a kid, I didn't know what Cure Raga was. I was just oh, isn't it just an extended version of Cure? Is it just more words and nothing else? And he was like, no, dummy, the bigger it is, you know, longer the word is probably a better move. But I finally beat Ansem Riku, or Possessed Riku, whatever you want to call them. And then they're talking about how, you know, it's gonna take Sora to close this door now, and the keyhole's, you know, not really finished. So Sora's just trying to think of what he can do, and how he remembers what Possessed Riku said to him about his Keyblade being able to, you know, release hearts. And so I didn't really get what Sora was thinking at this point, much like everyone else, because Sora just seems like a kid who doesn't really think outside the box. And this is where he kind of surprised me, and I think the entire, you know, fandom, is that no one asked him to make this biggest sacrifice, and he did it with a smile. And that's who Sora is. He's willing to stand up to the plate and just make a bigger sacrifice for his friends, because to him, they're the most important thing. And, you know, it was here that I learned that Sora was a safe haven for all of these hearts that were lost, from all the princesses to Kairi and everyone else. But I also learned in turn that later on that there was another heart within his that would make a certain boy. Yeah, let's save that for when we get to Kingdom Hearts 2. So we're also going to be just, you know, diving into some other things that happened. So while I was playing this game over the summer holidays, I would go outside a little bit, and as I mentioned, the bully who used to bully me in school lived across the road from me, but I didn't know this until later on in that summer holiday. Keep that in mind, as that is very important. So while seeing this, I also learned that Sora has such good friends that he will do anything for them. And me being someone who didn't have any friends to, you know, sort of talk to and get to know, I said to him, yeah, like, you know, I said to, like, myself while looking at this sacrifice that Sora had made for Kairi, that if you have true friends who are that good to you, maybe you do make sacrifices for your friends and family and everyone else, you know. So Sora spoke a lot of volumes to me, and Kingdom Hearts did overall. It taught me a lot of good values and lessons that I needed to know. And it also taught me, because of Riku here, that if you're strong enough of heart, you can, you know, basically withstand anything and do the right thing, even if you think it's too late. And that's why I love Riku towards the end of the game, because I realized that he let himself get sort of manipulated without, like, realizing that he was letting it happen. He was just upset about what was going on with his friends, and in turn he got manipulated by this. And so he has been on a sort of redemption path since that scene in Kingdom Hearts 1, which should be on screen. I hope I've edited this all up properly. Now I'm skipping ahead, because this fight with Ansem towards the end of the game was a huge pain in the backside for me as a kid. This took me so many attempts to the point where I was screaming into pillows. I remember once my brother walking in and I was screaming into a pillow because of this freaking fight, because of all the freaking lasers. And my brother just came in, he was like, you know what, I'll show you what to do. And yeah, he basically made me go back and level up until I had enough health, because I had very, very little health for this fight. So shoutouts to you, big bro. Appreciate it. Kano. So there you go. But yeah, this taught me that Sora was willing to go on an adventure for his friends and sort of find himself, and also the difficulties he had to overcome when, you know, Donald and Goofy were gonna leave him because he no longer possessed the Keyblades, but they all came back to him. And that's when they were true friends, because throughout the game they weren't really friends with Sora, they were more like companions just doing their job, so they sort of put up with you in the meantime. And that's kind of what they were. They were just putting up with Sora in the meantime because he had the Keyblade, so it was like they were more like co-workers than friends. But when they decided to step in and help Sora fight Riku, and Sora got the Keyblade back from Riku, that's when they became friends, at least in my opinion. So seeing Sora make an understanding here that, you know, that Kingdom Hearts is actually light, and that he told Ansem that he's wrong and that the heart may give in, and, like, you know, sometimes it can be weak and give in, but, you know, deep down there's a light that never gives out. That applies to everyone in life through whatever struggles you're going through. Like, things may look really, really bad right now, but there are things that, you know, will become clearer and get better with time. But it's just, I feel like life is always testing good people to see how much they can overcome, because that's why people always say, oh, bad people never get punished. It's sort of true, especially in my case of what I've seen, but it's not until the later years in life when they're already all out down on their luck, like, you know. So seeing Sora get aid from his friends to close this door, even though he knew he probably wouldn't see his friends again, or his friend Riku, this made it really sad, but it's the sacrifice of him and his friends. And when all hope seemed lost, the millionaire, freaking billionaire Mouse of Light appears. I'm just joking here, but yeah, it is true. The billionaire Mouse of Light appears. Mickey Mouse. But yeah, so watching this scene for the first time, I was in awe. I was like, this is the perfect end to a perfect journey. I loved Kingdom Hearts 1. I loved this story and everything else, and I was sad to see it end. I was sad that I had reached the end of this game, and it took me exactly 4.5 weeks to beat it. And for the rest of the remaining summer holiday, I went outside a little bit, even though I still had stitches from my head being cracked open and stuff like that. I still risked it to go outside, and I probably shouldn't have the third time I risked it to go outside, because that's when summer holidays began, and I started getting beaten up again, because this kid, Robbie, and I don't care that I've said his name, because that guy, pushed me over and started hitting and kicking me and punching the ever-living crap out of me. Fast forward a few more weeks later, or a month or two later, it was getting to that time. I saw all the leaves were still on the trees, but it was getting darker much earlier, and there were all the ads on TV for back to school stuff, and this is where I realized I was gonna have to go back to school. No friends, no one to talk to, completely isolated, and at the possibility of probably getting my head kicked in again. And this is where also I realized that teachers aren't always there to help you like they say they are, because I had a few new different teachers when I went back to school, and all of them just called me lazy, and they said I was pretending that I couldn't read, they said I was pretending that I didn't understand how to spell, they said that I was just making it all up, and that yeah, that all happened as well. So that was very stressful for me, being someone who struggled to read and understand certain things. Became extremely difficult for me. About, I think, a month or two later, I was still in school, and my mum decided to pull me out of school, and when she did, I was off school for a very, very long time again, because the terms hadn't switched over completely yet. And this is when I went to my second school, and this is where things get interesting. So hang on. So skipping about 1.5 years into my second school, I still had no friends or anything like that. But before that even happened, the first few days when I was at my second school, my new school, it seemed like people wanted to be my friend, or it was just a hype of seeing someone new. And that's all that it was. I had girls come up to me, like guys come up to me, and everyone was being super nice to me. I even had this guy get jealous about me because his girlfriend started playing with my long hair, because I grew out my hair over the summer holidays. I wanted to keep it. I wanted to be like my brother, because he then started growing out his hair and stuff. And my brother was, like I said, he got me into metal music, rock music. My brother loved things like Guns N' Roses, Metallica, Iron Maiden, Slipknot, all that good jazz, and Red Hot Chili Peppers. So I grew up with a array of music. And yeah, this guy at my second school got jealous because his girlfriend started paying me attention. I also just remember when going into my second school that about 1.5 years in, I still didn't know anything about whether there was a Kingdom Hearts sequel or not, although I just remember this scene, which should be playing on the screen right now, which is the lead up to Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories, or Rechain of Memories, whatever you want to call it. And so a little while into my first sort of year and a half at my second school that I was at, my older sister started seeing someone. And he was this guy who was really chill, really nice. He had like a beard and everything, and like he had like really crazy long brown hair. And one day he came over because I was really shy meeting him, meeting new people, and he knew I didn't really have any friends still. He brought this big black rucksack with him that was really, really heavy, and he went, "Hey dude," and I was like, hi. And he was like, yeah man, you like video games, right? And I was like, yeah, but I only have a PS2. And he went, no you don't, not anymore. And he just handed me this really weird, strange, like, you know, square sort of block, sort of cube thing, and it was purple. And he went, have you ever played Legend of Zelda? And I was like, I've heard of it, but I've not played it. And he went, okay, well here you go. And he gave me this 2-in-1 disc, which was Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time and Legend of Zelda Wind Waker. And he gave me Super Mario Sunshine. And he also said, also, don't you have a Game Boy? And I went, yeah I do. And he went, oh, what's your favorite game? And I went, well, I just finished like Kingdom Hearts like about a year ago. And he went, oh, did you know the sequel came out? And I was like, what? And he went, yeah, here you go. And it was Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories for the Game Boy. And this is where I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I didn't care about schoolwork. I was about maybe 7, 8 years old. I didn't care. I started playing Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories. And as much as I didn't like that it wasn't on a big screen, I was loving it for what I was playing with it, and I did eventually beat it. I had his help. He was very nice, and he got me into my third favorite game franchise, which is Zelda, as some of you may know. And if you're curious what the third Zelda game was, yeah, he gave me Twilight Princess, which was later on, because yeah, it wasn't out for the GameCube yet, but he got it for me as well. That was the third one that he got me later on. But yeah, so he gave me those Zelda games, but obviously the most important thing was Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories for the Game Boy. And although this one took me a lot longer to beat, and I had his help, and of course my brother's help, because my brother then played a little bit because he made himself a save file as well, we all ended up basically beating it together. And I loved this one because even though it was about your memories being taken away and losing them, the message that really got me was like, you may forget about certain things and someone, but if they're really important, they will come back to you, and it doesn't matter how long it takes, as long as they're important, they will find their way back to you. And you know, I thought that was a good message and a good note to sort of like leave on, especially the fact that Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories had no voice acting from what I remember, but it's also the message that you take away from when we rebeat Kingdom Hearts Rechain of Memories, which we did here on stream. And like I said, I think I beat Rechain of Memories once for the PS2 because I found this out years later that there was one. So yeah, I sort of like began to respect this guy who my older sister was dating, and he was like really nice to me, and he also told me that he was dyslexic and he didn't learn to read properly until he was about 15. He said he still struggles with certain words and stuff, but he went, trust me, it gets better later in life. And he went, it's something that you can't rush or force. He went, it's something that you've just gotta like be patient with. And he went, video games helped him read. And I was like, oh, that's funny, because Kingdom Hearts 1 helped me recognize certain words. And he went, hey, well, that's already a good start. And I was learning more from him and feeling less anxious about things because of him and my brother telling me these things, and my older sister as well. And when I told them about the incidents that happened with these teachers at my new school, he went, "Don't listen to them, they're all just being idiots." Although that's not the exact words that they used, because then my mum told my brother, she was like, "Don't swear, not in front of Blake, he'll start using swear words again." Which I did. But yeah, it was also tough because I told them that the kid across the street was bullying me. My brother knew who it was instantly. So my brother went and knocked on his door while his parents were out, and the kid obviously opened the door. My brother basically sent him inside his house crying. Still to this day don't know what he said to him, because my brother's forgotten all about it. But yeah, so that's part 2. So yeah, I still went to another school and had no friends, and I beat Chain of Memories. But yeah, the more and more I played through Kingdom Hearts and Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories, I started to have a love for this series, and it started teaching me lessons from the value of what friendship is, even though I didn't have any friends at that point. It also taught me, like, no matter like how dark and tough things get, so like all the bullying and situations I was going through, I thought they'd be over if I had that time off of school, but no, I went to a new school, got my ass kicked, I went back to my previous school where I was originally, got beat up again, and yeah, even in the new school I went to, I got teased and bullied and stuff. So yeah, it was still happening, and I decided, you know, when the time comes, it will come. But I was crying about it for like ages. But hopefully part 3 you guys will start to have a bit more of a happier experience, because that's where my first friend that I made comes into this. So I actually ended up making a friend, but unfortunately it wouldn't be until I moved again to my last primary school, which is like the school that you go to, and then when that finishes you go to secondary school, which is sort of like high school. So yeah, I hope that you all enjoyed. I tried to leave out some stuff, but yeah, there was stuff with that kid Robbie. He pushed me off of like he pushed me in the road and then tried to run over my legs with his bike and stuff, and yeah, I just felt like I should leave that out, but there you go. But hey, I hope you all enjoyed this video. Leave a like on it if you enjoyed the story, and if you want me to continue the series. Last time you got it up to 32 likes, so thank you guys for that. Just lets me know how much you want certain videos. That's how I view the like system, is the more likes on one series of videos, the more likely you are to want that series more. So I'm trying to do what's popular with you guys, keep it in mind, and I'm trying not to share too much over the top, like, you know, in-depth things that were too upsetting. So yeah, let me know what you guys want to hear next, and let me know if you want more of this. You want part 3, part 4, and part 5. I will warn you, the last sort of part that I do will be extremely emotional, because it's extremely personal. I'm not saying that none of this isn't extremely personal, but that's like really, really personal. But yeah, I hope that you all have a great day. May your heart be your guiding key. As always, thank you all so much for watching and all of your support and all your kindness. You guys are fan-freaking-tastic. I can't stress it enough. I hope that you all have a good one. Remember to stand up for what you believe in, stand tall, stand proud for who you are and people around you. And if you're doing something for yourself, do things that you love, do things that are good, that are going to impact yourself positively and others around you positively. Don't let people who are negative to you drive you bitter and negative either. Just keep being the great person that you are. With that all being said, I hope that you all enjoyed today's video, and I will catch you all in the next one. Peace.